Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about mass exoduses. People flocking out of their states, mostly liberal states and cities, because some states, it seems like, and my state's the perfect example, Illinois. Oh man. Do you know how red Illinois is? Most people don't, because Illinois is a blue state. We're run by Democrats. That's what it is, right? It's not really. I mean, you go out by me, I'm kind of in the western part of the state, or you go down south. Illinois is a very red state, but Chicago is not. They are bluer than this. They are bluer than the Village of the Smurfs. That is Smurf Village is less blue than Chicago, and that includes all of Cook County. Well, that includes most of Cook County, I'd say, and a lot of DuPage County. There's a lot that are stuck. There's a lot of people that are kind of like stuck in those counties, but anyway, Chicago really runs the state's politics, and honestly, that's pretty similar to California. Even in California, if you were to look at the vote totals, that state is run by Los Angeles and San Francisco. I mean, everywhere else, there's a pretty high red presence there. But anyway, and then just New York's just blue. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. A lot of the upstate New York, they had some pretty high Trump numbers during the election. But anyway, not what I'm talking about. But I want to talk about the mass exodus from these cities and states. California, this last year, so 2021, 2020. It would have been 2020, because we'll see the polls at the end of this year, or the census numbers. But 2020 was the first time in recorded history that California actually lost population. Usually it's pretty steady, or they're gaining population, because let's face it, the weather in California, beautiful. I'd love to live in California if it wasn't for the insane taxes and draconian laws that they pass every time there's anything significant going on in the world. And U-Haul costs. Have you seen the U-Haul costs? To rent a U-Haul to move out of one of these states, and I'm talking Oregon, Washington, California, Illinois, New York. I think those are the big ones. To move out of those states, renting a U-Haul is extremely expensive. Thousands for the trip. To rent a U-Haul from if you were to move from Texas to California, super cheap, because they need the U-Hauls in these, your Illinois, New York's, California's. They need them in those states so much that they give you such a discounted rate, because you're doing them a favor. You're bringing it back to the states that have a higher demand for them, because people want them to move out. It's so hard. I heard it's so hard to reserve a U-Haul in those states for moving out. But anyway, so what sparked this is the Bears are moving out of Chicago, it seems. Now, they can't do it until 2026, but they bought the old Arlington race course. I only went there once. I'm not a horse racing guy, but I went last year for a friend's birthday, and it was all right. It was, it was horses running in a circle. I found out it's not for me, but it was a historic place. It's been around for a long time, so I'm glad I got to say I went during its last year. But anyway, Arlington Racetrack closed down. The Bears have purchased that building, and it looks like they're going to start getting their ducks in a row to build a stadium there. Maybe it'll be a nice enclosed retractable roof stadium so the Bears can actually host a Super Bowl. That'd be pretty cool. Not that the Bears will be in the Super Bowl, but they'll be able to host it. But and it's because they've been strong-armed too many times by mayor after mayor, no more than Miss Lori Lightfoot, Miss Mayor Triple Threat. Nobody has strong-armed them more. Such weak arms to be able to strong-arm somebody, So, and I think this whole COVID thing and them not being able to have fans and, and all the rest of the NFL, I mean, they weren't at full capacity. They weren't even at half capacity, but at least they had some fans. And Chicago couldn't have any. Couldn't have any. Unless you were an elite, Chicago politician, then you can kind of sneak into the stadium and watch the game, or go on the the real good seats and sit and watch. Maybe, so maybe those people were allowed to see the games, but nothing, no, not the average you and I, which are the best fans. If you wear a suit to a football game, you're not the kind of fans that they want seeing in the stadium. So, anyways, Chicago Bears looks like they're moving to Arlington Heights. And you know what? I think that's pretty cool. They're gonna, because basically they get strong-armed. The city of Chicago, in conjunction with the Chicago Park District, they own Soldier Field, and the Bears are kind of at their mercy of what policy they decide. So now the Bears are going to be able to open their own facility, own it, run it, manage it. They can make their hours, they can set their capacities. I mean, it's going to be great for the Bears organization. Now, hopefully they can change their head coach and get some players that don't look like they just got off the Pee Wee football squad. So, hopefully they can change that. But it's kind of funny. They got the land over there. They put in a bid for the Arlington Racetrack. They got that for less than what they signed Khalil Mack for. So, hopefully, hopefully that'll be good. And I think that'll be, I think it will be good. It'll sure as hell be easier to get to the games, because I don't know, you ever been to a Bears game? You go to a Bears game and there's Soldier Field. You go there, it takes hours to get into the stadium, and then you get done with the game and there's really nothing to do. I mean, you're in Chicago, but within the direct vicinity there's not much to do. I mean, Navy Pier's kind of right there, but that's closed half the time because of government regulations. And once you've been to Navy Pier once, you've been to Navy Pier. I mean, it's not what it's all cracked up to be. But I think in Arlington Heights they're gonna have, I think they're gonna have enough space to do, to either have other businesses move in to the area. You can have a bar or a club or something, because when you go to Soldier Field now, it's kind of like tailgating, and that's about it. Which tailgating's fun, but I think the Arlington Heights location, I mean, it's going to be much easier to get to, and you know, hopefully with Chicago not regulating it, maybe the parking will be more reasonable, you know, because they had to, you know, their parking was really expensive because, you know, they're paying Chicago taxes and all that stuff. So hopefully that gets better. I think it's going to be a good move for fans overall. I expect myself to go to more Bears games after they move into Arlington Heights. I have not been to a Bears game in probably 10 years. No, I don't know if it's been that long. I don't know, 6 or 7. I went to someone, the punter, you can look it up. I don't even know how to look it up, but the Bears had the ball punted to them, and then the guy started running the wrong way. That's the one thing. It was against the Packers, and you know, he got the ball punted to him. It wasn't Devin Hester. It was after Devin Hester's time, but he got the ball, and boom, he started running the wrong way. And then he got hit, and then he fumbled it, and the Packers got the ball, and they ran it, and then they ran it the correct way. It was a painful game to watch, but that's the last time I was there. It was a long time ago. I think Rex Grossman was their quarterback. No, it wasn't Rex. I think it was Cutler. I think it was still Cutler as their quarterback at the time. But anyway, so I guess this video became more about the Bears, but it's symptomatic of what's happening everywhere else. You know, if you know, everyone else is wise to it, the Bears are wise to it. And McCaskey's they're who owns the Bears, and I commend them for doing it. I think it's a good move, and you know, Chicago's going to lose a nice chunk of revenue, and they're going to be sorry that they strong-armed them. They're going to, you know, who's going to want to move into that stadium? Let's be real. Who wants to move their business or franchise, in that matter, to Chicago? What are they going to use that land for? I don't know. Nothing. Practice field for Pee Wee football until Chicago gets their act together. Pee Wee football / the current Bears, because that's what they look like now. But maybe this is the big change they need, and then we're going to see, you know, the Bears do what the New England Patriots did for 20 years. Maybe. I hope. I like the Patriots too, that Tom Brady. I know he's not on there anymore, but it was fun growing up watching him play. So anyway, you know, we got California, we got New York, we got Oregon, we got all these, even Michigan has been, you know, they've been losing people. Michigan's beautiful. It's sad to see people leaving Michigan, because Michigan is, I love Michigan. You know, my parents like to vacation in Michigan. I've gone there a few times with them, and they, you know, I've gone canoeing, paddling, and all this. Michigan's beautiful, and it's sad to see what's happened to it. You know, so, and then all these red states they're gaining population, and you know, why? Why do you think that is? Well, because they're easier to live in, they're less expensive to live in, your quality of life is better. So my only hope is that these people who are leaving these liberal states are the actual conservatives saying, okay, I've had enough of this liberal policy, and they're not the liberal people moving to try to save a dollar and then bringing their terrible voting habits with them. Because unfortunately that happens. People get tunnel brained when it comes to voting, and they move, and then they vote for what they moved away from. And I just hope that isn't the case, considering I do not plan on retiring in Illinois. I plan on going somewhere else, a nice lower taxed state, maybe Texas, Arkansas, who knows, and retiring there. And I don't want them to be shit by the time I decide to go there. Let's hope not. I don't think they will be. I think it is the right people moving out. That's my prediction. It's either the conservatives moving out or it's the people who voted liberal and then realized, holy crap, this sucks. They move and then they say, you know what? I made one state shit. I'm not going to do it to another one. Let's hope that that spreads, and then all these people, they start seeing their states losing population, and then they realize why, and then they say, you know what? Things were better when people enjoyed life here. Let's vote differently. I hope so. I think we're gonna be getting, I think this mass exodus from these liberal states is gonna cause a red wave through the country, and I think so. I think things are looking way down before they look up. I really do. And sooner than later for the Bears. I commend the Bears move. I think it's the right move. I hope they follow through with it. That's the one thing. I say it looks like they're moving, but things change, and I hope they don't accept an apology from the city and say, okay, we take it back. We're sorry. You can have all these bonuses and stimuluses and stuff. I hope that doesn't it'll get offered. I mean, let's be real. The city cares more about money than their beliefs. So it'll be offered. I just hope it's not accepted. I hope the Bears say, you know what, screw you. We got a good thing going in Arlington Heights, it looks like. We're not going to deal with this anymore. We're out. I hope so. And that's all I got.